to barbecuing. Today on the menu, we've got this amazing bluefin tuna. Recently, my brother-in-law came up to me and said, hey, I got a stash of some fish. Do you want some? I said, hell yeah, bring it. So we're gonna be smoking these bad boys. We got 2 giant steaks here. What we're gonna basically be doing is like a basic brine. We're gonna let it brine overnight, which helps retain all the moisture through the smoking process. We're gonna let it dry for about an hour after that, let it form a little pellicle, which helps accept smoke onto the meat. And then we're gonna smoke it. It's gonna be about 175 degrees for probably about 3 hours is what I'm thinking. So let's get started on this. For the fish, let's start off with this. I'm gonna cut these into basically like single serving size pieces. So we're just gonna go, I don't know, kind of a chunk about like that, right? That's just gonna make it to where it's easy to kind of snack on. You can do the whole fillet if you want, but this way it's, you get a little bit more flavor throughout the outside of everything, and it'll be, you know, just a nice little easy snack to pick at. So we'll take this and we'll cut all these up. Kind of do the same thing on this side. All right, so the meat's now cut up. Got this all nice and organized. Let's start on the brine. What we're gonna do for the brine, figure it's a fish that was caught near Mexico, maybe in Mexico. Might as well brine it with some Mexican beer, you know? So we're gonna do three beers. Since we got quite a bit of fish, you wanna make sure that when you're brining this, that all the fish is submerged. We're gonna end up throwing this in a Ziploc bag and making sure that everything just kinda marinates for a day, you know? All right, so we got 3 beers in. We're gonna have 1 cup of teriyaki sauce. It's gonna go in. We've got a 1/2 cup brown sugar. You can add more sugar if you want it a a little bit sweeter at the end product. I don't want it super sweet, so we're just going with 1. We've got a 1/4 tablespoon of pink Himalayan, or 1/4 cup of pink Himalayan salt. And then just for a little bit of something, we got a tablespoon of onion powder. So we're gonna get this all mixed up. When we're actually gonna be smoking this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have about half of these just with the brine. The other half, I'm gonna actually dredge in some seasonings. Haven't quite figured it out yet. We'll figure it out tomorrow. Thinking maybe some paprika, maybe a little bit of cumin. Maybe not. We'll find out. But so we're gonna do 1 basically plain, 1 with some seasonings just to add a little extra kick to it. So we're just gonna throw these in here. Got everything all nice and incorporated. And I know we said we were gonna put it in a Ziploc bag, but actually this looks pretty good right here. So I'm just gonna saran wrap this, throw this in the fridge, and let it chill out for overnight. So we'll see you tomorrow. Fish, been brined overnight. That's gonna add a little bit of flavor to it, but more importantly, it's gonna add a lot of moisture in, which is gonna, you know, help through the 3-hour smoke that we're gonna do here, help keep it moist and not completely dried out. What we need to do now though is we're gonna rinse this off, take off some of the excess salt. You don't want it too salty once it's dried. We're gonna pat it dry, put it on a drying rack, and we're gonna dry it in the fridge for about an hour. You're gonna wanna have a pellicle form, which is basically just kind of like a little crust, and that's gonna help smoke adhere to the fish. So we'll get that going. We'll get the smoker fired up, and we'll get this going. So it's been about an hour now. Fish has formed its pellicle. Had it drying in the fridge for about an hour. Looks amazing. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna throw it on the smoker. We have this set up to 175 right now. We've got alder in the hopper, so you want a nice light wood for this because you go with like mesquite or hickory, it gets a little bit too overpowering. So we're gonna go with alder, which is a nice wood. You could do like a cherry or like an apple wood, something along those lines. That would be perfectly acceptable. And then for half of these, like I'd said, I wanted to dredge it with some seasoning. Kind of changed my mind on that. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a light drizzle instead. So we've got a seasoning mix here of just, here we go. We have a seasoning mix here of just a tablespoon of chipotle powder, a tablespoon of smoked paprika, and a tablespoon of garlic powder. We're just gonna take this and we're just gonna lightly kind of coat the top so that this kind of will just add a little bit of extra zing. I like bold flavors, you know, I like a little bit of extra. So we'll have something a little bit spicy for me, and we'll have the original for other people. While we're smoking, of course, you always need to have a beer. So I figured today I wanted something a little light, a little crisp, so I'm going with something that I brewed. This is a Gose, so it's a German wheat beer. I brewed it with coriander and some pink Himalayan salt. So and it's sigillated malt, which basically is like makes it a little bit sour. So it's got a little bit of tartness to it. It's really fresh, really clean. Great beer to go with this. So cheers, guys. We'll see you in about 3 hours when this is done. It's been 2 hours since we started to cook, and it actually cooked a little faster than I was thinking. So we are done. The safe internal temp for fish, 145. We just hit it. So let's get this stuff pulled off. It's got an amazing color, like a nice mahogany color. That's one of the ones with the spice on it. Can't wait to try these things. So here, we'll take these off. All right, end product here. Looks absolutely amazing. Let's give this a try. All right. So I have a piece of the regular, piece of the spicy. Let's go with the regular first, see how this turned out. That's amazing. You get a hint of the brown sugar comes through, with a little bit of sweetness to it. Absolutely amazing. One thing I do want to mention here, we're not smoking this to cure it. We're smoking it to put flavor on it. So this will stay good in your fridge for about a week, but it's not like we're preserving it or making jerky out of it. Let's go with the spicy. You still get the sweetness, just a little hint of extra flavor, a little bit more boldness to it, but it's not overpowering at all. I'm gonna call this a success, guys. Thanks again for showing up. Please subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't. I appreciate any advice, I appreciate the tips. We'll see you guys next time.